Have you ever feel like your entire life is double booked? Your calendar says vacation, but your inbox says urgent. Your brain says let's rest, but your heart says are we falling? Welcome back to She Works It Out, the podcast for women who are doing their best while quietly Googling, is burnout seasonal or permanent? I'm your host Sonal, professional overthinker, habitual rescheduler of emotions, and someone who once planned a relaxing vacation and ended up negotiating contract from a beach in a beach towel. Today's episode is for anyone who ever looked at the calendar and thought, cool, so I guess I can cry Thursday at 12:15. So let's dive in. It's story time. My first story today is the vacation that got hijacked. You know, that feeling when you are finally going on vacation, not like a fake day off where you are replying your messages while doing laundry. I mean the real one, the real vacations with plans, with flights, with sunscreen. Yeah, that kind of vacation. So this was supposed to be that kind of vacation for me. Yeah, so we planned this months in advance. I even made a spreadsheet. I packed swimsuit, books, snacks, backup snacks, chargers, 3 types of sunscreens, and one goal: do nothing. And I meant it. I told everyone at work I will be offline. I even put an out of office message, and that read, currently out of Wi-Fi range and emotional bandwidth. Be back on Monday. Okay. It was going to be a calm, restful one. Me on a lounge chair with some sparkling water with lime, maybe a trashy novel or a documentary I would pretend to watch, but secretly I will fall asleep halfway through. Day 1 was beautiful. I read, I napped, I wore flip-flop with zero guilt. Day 2, that's when the emails started. At first, I ignored them. I am on vacation, I whispered to myself like a self-help affirmation. And then came the dreaded subject line. Urgent! Client asked for a call today. Cue the anxiety stomach flip. I tried to hold strong. I said, they will figure it out. I was telling it to myself. But then I got a message that said, hey, just one quick question. Can you hop on a call for 10 minutes? And now, here is the part where I wish I said no, where I stuck to my boundaries, sipped a lime water and reminded everybody that I was out, but I didn't. I said, sure, I have my laptop. Let me find a quiet corner and I will log on. Okay. Because of course I got my laptop there. Just in case, it's the millennial version of packing an umbrella. You never plan for using it, right? But somehow it always rains. So I found a quiet corner near the balcony. I put a blazer on a tank top and I angled the camera like nobody could see the flamingo towel behind me, and I started the call. So this vacation feels like a turnaround into remote work, just with a better scenery. Okay, so meeting went fine, and then there was another message. Okay, while we have you, can you quickly look at this deck and let us know if you have any feedback? And then there was another one. Can you just review a document real quick? Okay. Before I knew it, I was just reviewing for 2 hours, answering the emails from bathroom like teenager hiding from their parents. And my family, they were at pool, making memories, eating ice creams, and probably wondering why mom had become a vacation ghost. On day 3, I caught myself reviewing KPIs on my phone during the breakfast while my kids were telling me a story about a crab they saw it yesterday on the beach. I nodded, I smiled. I had no idea what they were saying. I was busy editing a sentence about quarterly growth. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't on vacation. I was just working in different time zone, wearing my sandals. I traded my peace for productivity, rest for guilt, presence for performance. And why? Because part of me still believed the lie that if I stepped back, everything may fall apart. That I had to be reachable, responsible, and reliable. Even when my calendar said, do not disturb, my brain translated it, disturb if it's urgent. And guess what? Everything feels urgent if you never let anything wait. By the end of trip, I at least applied, 48 emails, joined 4 video calls, reviewed 2 decks, and mentally, I never left work mode. I came back exhausted. Not because I had bad vacation, but because I never took a vacation. So the lesson here to learn is, if you do not protect your rest like it's your job, your actual job is going to take your rest time away every single time. Vacation isn't just a location. It's a boundary. And boundaries only work when you believe you deserve them, Not because you have earned those, or not because you finished every item on your to-do list, or not because you are human, you need space to breathe. And here is what I learned after that. Leave the laptop at home. And I mean it. Do not bring that portal of chaos with you on your vacation ever. Second, set your status and mean it. Do not just go by out of office. Maybe go by offline completely. Communicate clearly. Tell your team, unless office is on fire, I'm not available. And tell your guilt, that is most important. You do not get to come on this trip, ever. Because rest isn't a luxury, it's a responsibility, and no one else will fight it unless you don't. So let's talk about my next story. It's a funny one. So the presentation that took my brain, my overthinking. So it started very simple with a calendar reminder. Prep a client deck, due Thursday. Totally doable. I even told myself, I've got this. I've done it so many times. So I started. Slide 1 was okay, just simple title. Slide 2, agenda, even simpler. Then I hit slide 3. The one where I had to explain the project outcome. And that's where the spiral began. I wrote a sentence and then deleted it. Then I rewrote. I googled the synonyms for impactful. Changed the font, changed it back, overthinking, And then I stared at the blinking cursor as if I owed it rent. Suddenly, nothing sounded right. Everything felt, So I did what any responsible adult does in this moment of creative panic. I texted 3 of my co-workers. I said, do you have 5 minutes to review something real quick? Translation for that really is, please validate my existence before I lose my mind over a bar chart. One replied with a thumbs up. Another said, just tweak slide 4 and you're good. But I wasn't good at all. I was at slide 14 and questioning my entire career. I went into this rabbit hole. Should I add a quote or should I cite a case study? Is the font too casual? Do I sound smart or like I'm trying to sound smart? At one point of time, I found myself watching a TED talk for inspiration. And next thing, I know it was 1 a.m. The slide deck was still open. My eyes are glazed over, and I suddenly obsessed how my bullet points are aligned, like perfectly aligned, pixel by pixel. And then I told myself, okay, too much for today. Let's finish tomorrow, just sleep. But when I lay down, guess what happened? The presentation came with me in bed, in my mind. I started mentally rehearsing it. Should I open with story or jump directly into the numbers? What if they ask this? What if they ask that? What I'm going to do if they talk about the Q3 production? And I went blank. I tossed, I turned. At one point of time, I whispered to myself, just shut up and go to sleep. But my brain was like, haha, no, let's rehearse slide 6 again. By 3:30, I was literally picturing pie chart while trying to count sheep. And the next day, I woke up with a headache and a PowerPoint hangover. I didn't eat breakfast. I just stared at my laptop, tweaking transition like they were life and death decisions. Yeah. And here's the thing. Presentation went fine, even good. The client said, thanks for this one. It was really helpful. My boss nodded. Nobody even mentioned the font I obsessed for or the data table I worked 9 times, but just me. I was emotionally wiped. All the stress was, internally created by my mind, all panic. For 20 minutes of polite nodding and thank you, we will follow up. Yeah. So the lesson here is sometimes it's not actual work that burns you out. It's thinking about it, the obsessing, the spiraling, and the endless over editing that turns a simple task into a soul-sucking saga. And you know what I realized? I wasn't trying to make a great presentation there. I was just trying to prove that I was competent, prepared, professional, or perfect. But perfection, if you really think about it, it's a moving target and chasing it is exhausting. The presentation didn't need to be perfect. It just needed to be clear. And I don't need to prove myself. I just need to trust myself. So here is what I'm trying to do now. Set a time limit. If a task should take 45 minutes, then I don't let it steal 4 hours from my life and from my sleep cycle. Stop over polishing. Your audience doesn't care about the bullet points fade in or the right or the left pop up from the bottom and all those things, Done is better than dazzling. And pause the panic. Sometimes I literally say out loud, it's just a deck, not a thesis. You can breathe. So what did we learn today? That sometimes even when you pack SPF, sun hat, or your best intention to relax, burnout still sneaks into your suitcase. That presentation aren't just slides and deck. They can be emotional roller coaster dressed in bullet points. And most importantly, that rest doesn't happen by accident. You have to claim it, protect it, and sometimes even fight for it. If your brain is running board meeting at 3 a.m., if your vacation feels like your inbox just changed scenery, or if your self-worth is tied in 4 choices, please know this. You are not alone. You're not broken. You're just human. Let this episode be your permission slip to log off without guilt, to say done even if it's not perfect, to take up space and take a break. And if you're nodding along thinking, yep, that's me, then hit that follow or subscribe button like it's out of office and you should have done it 2 days ago. Share this episode with someone else who's been pushing through when they should be taking pause. And send me your stories, the ones that made you cry, laugh, or almost share your grocery list on a screen share by accident. I want them all. Until next time, stretch, sip something warm, and take a breath that isn't planned. And hey, don't reschedule your breakdown. Just cancel it because you deserve better.